Welcome back to Weather with Wes. I want to start by saying that my heart goes out to the families in Texas and here locally in North Carolina who experienced loss or losses due to this tragic flooding. Number one, that Guadalupe River in Texas, and then number two, the Haw River and the Eno River here in North Carolina, in Alamance, Orange, Person County, Lee County, Harnett County, kind of that central swath of North Carolina that you can see on the map highlighted in green. And I think Saxapaw, which is Alamance County. Anyways, a lot of those families are experiencing a lot of loss, and it's sad to experience that. And these two storms were under forecasts, so they became overproducers of precipitation, which really inundated low-lying areas, creating what's known as a 500-year flood, which is a terrible thing to experience. And I think there's only like a 0.2 chance of that happening per year, which is kind of the 500-year flood thing. But terrible, terrible time to experience something like that. But with that said, let's move on to today's forecast. We've got some interesting things coming. Number one, regionally, there's a heat advisory in effect for much of central and eastern North Carolina, which is highlighted in the red there, between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. So basically all throughout the day, where heat index values could be anywhere between 105 to 109. Look for hot, humid, and mostly dry conditions in the morning with an increasing chance of showers or isolated storms in the afternoon. Especially in the Triangle region, you're more likely to see a storm probably around 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where you've got more of a 30 to 40% chance. Raleigh, again, expect a high near 96 with heat indices between 106 to 109. Be mindful of being outside. If you've ever been to the Middle East, it's going to feel very similar to that if you're outside and have that long-term sun exposure. Partly sunny skies in the morning, and again after about 2:30, maybe even 3 o'clock, you can expect a brief rain shower, but otherwise it's just going to be hot and humid. The Charlotte forecast, you're going to climb into the mid 90s with the heat indices a little bit lower, but there's obviously you can see on the map, there's no formal heat advisory as of yet. That could change, so keep your ears out to your warning systems. And then, you're going to face about a 30% chance of storms through late afternoon with hot and humid conditions throughout, continuing into the evening. Obviously, for watches, warnings, and air quality, we talked about the heat advisory, basically for the eastern half of the state. Make sure you're staying hydrated and taking frequent breaks. There is an air quality zone, air quality code yellow. So your ozone and heat levels are affected by that. So if you are someone that is easily affected by poor air quality, please make sure to keep an eye out for that. Our 3-day outlook above my head right here. So for the next 3 days, you're looking at afternoon storms. The temperatures overall should lessen, but a few storms, and then those sticky, humid, mid-afternoon, sunny days are going to be around too. So Thursday, your chances increase a little bit more than Wednesday, and then Friday, it's back up again a little bit. Probably about a 50% chance across the state. So it's important. This matters especially after all this rain that we had from the tropical storm Chantal. So the middle part of the state, not sure if you can see my icon here, my pointer or not, but this middle part of the state, probably like the 15501 or the US 1 corridor, through, let's say, Pinehurst to about Henderson or Durham. And you can see we've got a live look where the Haw River is the flood advisory just expired for like the Mebane, Saxapaw area. So that's good. That means water levels are going down. However, the ground's really saturated, right? And especially in this red mud, that water saturation, if we continue to get rainstorm after rainstorm after rainstorm, you're going to see a lot more trees down. And if there's any sort of wind, obviously it's going to knock over even more trees. So be cognizant if you're going to be out in one of these storms. Around some bigger, heavier trees that are prone to blowing over or snapping. The weather's really favorable for some secondary and tertiary conditions that would really harm people outdoors. So be mindful of that. And then, mudslides in highly elevated areas are also a threat. Moving on, we've got our lawn forecast. So for today, Charlotte, you're probably looking good to mow this afternoon. Although if you want to stay out of the heat, it's probably a better idea to do it sometime this morning. Oh, and Raleigh, I would say use caution because your heat indices are going to be higher. Charlotte's probably had quite a chance to dry out, but Raleigh has experienced a lot of rain yesterday, and depending on where you're at in the viewing area around Raleigh, if you're west of Raleigh, you're probably not dried out at all. If you're east of Raleigh, you're probably dried out and could mow with no issue. But again, I would advise doing it outside of the heat area and outside of those storm zones. But that does it for today's forecast. Remember, stay cool, stay safe. And I've always got my eye on the sky, so you don't have to. Thanks for watching Weather with Wes, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for tomorrow's forecast.